San Francisco. Okay. So I want to thank La Cocina for taking me out of my intersectional bubble for 9.5 minutes. For 9.5 minutes, I'm liberated from being Jewish and gay. I just get to be black. And to that end, I will start my conversation with you by saying the traditional words, Good Shabbos, Mishpacha, was magst du? Welcome to Shabbos services for Friday night. So the person you see behind you is the me of now, the historic interpreter, the culinary Kunta Kinte, the Jonah in the body of the big fish, the person who is willing to go into these plantations and cook and bring the ancestors to life. But I want to tell you how he started. See, when I was a little kid, and we're talking about soul food from the vantage point of being a little black child in America who, quite frankly, hates soul food and hates being black. You wonder why. I was born right after the revolution called Black Pride, Black Power. But here's the deal. The Jerry Curl counter-revolution started when I was a little boy. So my world was the Columbus cornrows of Miss Bo Derek and 10. My world was John Travolta's booty-shaking black moves in an Italian-American body. My world was Richie Rich comic books, hello. And Dallas, and the Colbys, and Falcon Crest, that little bird with the funny head. Teaching me that 3 things matter: getting laid, being white, and being rich. And I was none of these things. But, as the scripture tells us, opulence, darling. Everything is yours. You own everything if you can attain that. So I didn't want to be Michael, the great grandson of Jim Crow people. Michael, the grandson of the Great Migration. Michael, the child of Black Power. I wanted to be this new thing. I wanted to be a Negro. Different. I wanted fast food. I wanted McDonald's. I wanted KFC, the women's liberation secret. I wanted Pizza Hut with its glorious pictures of perfection and cheese, a very un-black ingredient. But you know what? There was all this stuff hitting me left and right. So you gotta ask the question, when did I leave the sunken place? Some of y'all got that. The rest of y'all need to see that movie and find this out and not drink tea around your black friends for like 10 years. My mother told me a lot. She says, you know what, you didn't like being black. She was talking to Afrocentric teenager me, Malcolm X drinking me. She told me, you didn't like being black. In fact, you said we were ugly. I don't like those ugly black people. That was 3-year-old me. She had to take me out of the Wiz. As a black gay child, I'm not supposed to be black gay for like 8 minutes. As a black gay child, that's supposed to be like Jerusalem, the Wiz. I didn't want it. I didn't want Song of the South. Well, who does? And I didn't want Roots of the Next Generation, so my mother, thank God for the invention of the remote control. Then my grandmother, oh my God, Hazel, with her red hair and yellow skin and green eyes. All the mixture, you know, burning her hair every morning with the hot comb, thanks to this Madam C.J. Walker. Then there was fried green tomatoes and the smell of burning black hair and fried green tomatoes in the summertime. And my grandmother in her muumuu, that's right, honey, fighting that bacon in that pan. And me trying to understand, why would anyone want to do this? Why would anyone want bones in a pot sticking out of a thing of collard greens? Who would want to eat collard greens? Who in the hell wants chitlins? And why isn't it spelled right on the container? It says chitterlings. I know phonics. But y'all Negroes keep calling them chitlins. And that was the day that my mother would take me out to the elephant house at the National Zoo because it smelled better than our kitchen on Chitlin Day. Then there was the hot sauce in the bottle, was streaked, disgusting. And even worse than that was the streakiness of the buttermilk in my grandmother's glass. And you black Southern folks know what you did with that buttermilk. The cornbread went into the glass, and it was drank straight back like a shot. Then there was okra, a black medieval torture. Boy, you better eat that okra. No. Well, eat one bite. No, because if I eat one bite, you may be going to take 4 bites. So I took that one bite of okra, pretending like I chewed it, went upstairs, spat it out, went to bed, said, black pride hell. But see, one day, my grandmother, she said, we're going to make some lemonade. Not the Beyonce version, honey. Better. My grandmother said, lemonade, lemonade, made in the shade, stirred with a spade, cools your teeth and parts your hair, makes you feel good everywhere. And I was like, okay, I'm digging this. You know, all that partying and feeling good everywhere stuff. And I said, where'd that song come from, Grammy? And she says, that's the slave song. What is a slave? A slave is somebody who works for free. Oh, you mean like when I'm in the garden helping you out? Just, no, that's not what we're talking about. And so I learned this was a song passed down from her great-grandfather who was born into slavery. And so I started asking questions. And all of a sudden, the kitchen was filled up with my ancestors. And I got to meet them one by one. Those chitlins, that was the story of whole animal cooking. That was the story of people who didn't have a single thing to waste, who wouldn't waste a single thing, people who made everything taste good, made something from nothing. Those collard greens we plant in the garden in our backyard in D.C., those collard greens meant strength. That means surviving beyond just having salt pork and molasses and corn. That buttermilk, better eat it from a glass in a trough. That's right. My grandmother remembered stories about enslaved children having to eat buttermilk and cornbread from a trough like a hog. She said it's a step up in the world to have it in a glass. And okra. She said, did you know that we carried those seeds in our hair? Not literally, but the seeds for everything we have was in our heads, and they couldn't take that away from us. And that was my Black history lesson. See, my grandmother, my source of my resistance, was teaching me not how to hate my soul, but how to love it. Thank you.